The road was endless, a blur of highways and airport tarmacs. For Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll life was a constant motion. One day he was thrilling thousands on stage in Las Vegas. The next he was recording new hits in Nashville, or planning a concert tour that would take him across the entire country. Hotels, tour buses, rented planes, they were all part of the job, but none of them ever truly felt like home. Elvis loved Graceland, his beautiful mansion in Memphis. It was his sanctuary, a place where he could kick off his boots, relax with his family and friends, and just be Elvis, not the king. But with his demanding schedule, he spent more time in the air or on the road than he did in his beloved home. He yearned for something more, something that could carry a piece of Graceland with him wherever he went. It was 1975, and Elvis was at the height of his fame, yet the constant travel was starting to wear on him. He remembered a conversation with his father Vernon years ago about the need for a plane, a private jet that would give them freedom and comfort. Not just any plane, but one that felt like an extension of his own home, a flying Graceland. The idea, once a fleeting thought, began to take root in his mind. He was tired of charters, tired of schedules that weren't his own. He wanted to wake up in his own bed, eat his own food, and travel with his entire entourage without fuss. He wanted true privacy, true luxury, and complete control over his journeys. "I want a plane," he told his close friend and bodyguard Joe Esposito one quiet evening after a show. "Not just a plane, Joe. I want a palace in the sky. Something nobody else has, something that feels like Graceland up there." Joe, accustomed to Elvis's grand ideas, just nodded, a slight smile playing on his lips. "A palace, boss, you mean, like gold faucets and everything?" Elvis chuckled. "Exactly. Gold faucets, velvet sofas, a bedroom where I can actually stretch out, a place where Lisa Marie can run around. Somewhere we can all feel comfortable, even at 30,000 feet. The search began immediately. His team looked at various aircraft, but none seemed quite right. They were either too small, too old, or just lacked the potential for the grand transformation Elvis envisioned. Then they found it, a Convair 880. It was a former Delta Airlines jetliner, a workhorse of the skies, but with strong, reliable engines and a sleek profile. More importantly, it was large enough to be completely redesigned from the inside out. When Elvis first saw the schematics, the blueprints of the empty shell, his eyes lit up. This wasn't just a plane, it was a canvas. He imagined the transformation, the vibrant colors, the plush textures, the warm lighting. This wasn't about simply getting from point A to point B. This was about the journey itself becoming an experience, a luxurious escape. He began poring over design ideas, sketches, and fabric swatches. He wanted the best, the most opulent materials. Gold, always gold, velvet in rich, deep colors, fine wood paneling. Everything had to be custom, made from the seat belts to the ceiling panels. He wanted a master bedroom complete with a queen-sized bed, a private bathroom with a gold-flecked sink, a large lounge area where he could entertain guests or hold meetings, a conference room, even a separate area for his staff. "This is going to be more than just a jet," he told his father Vernon, who was equally excited about the project. "It's going to be a home, our home, up in the clouds." The cost was staggering, even for Elvis. The plane itself was nearly $250,000, but the customization, the complete overhaul that would turn a commercial airliner into a flying mansion, would push the total price tag into the millions. For anyone else, it would be an impossible dream. For Elvis, it was a necessity, a way to reclaim some semblance of normalcy and comfort in his extraordinary life. He named it in his heart, even before the work began. Lisa Marie. It was a tribute to his beloved daughter, the light of his life. This jet would be a symbol of his love for her, a place where they could share special moments together, far above the world's gaze. The Lisa Marie would not just be a plane, it would be a legacy, a soaring testament to the king's desire for comfort, family, and a touch of unparalleled grandeur. The dream was no longer just a dream. It was about to take flight. Convair 880 was a shell of its former self when it arrived at the Custom Aircraft Completion Center in Fort Worth, Texas. Stripped down to its metal frame, it looked like a giant empty tube. But to Elvis, it was full of possibilities. He had entrusted the intricate design work to a talented team, led by a renowned aircraft interior designer. Their mission to turn his vision of a palace in the sky into a breathtaking reality. Elvis wasn't just a client. He was an active participant in every decision. He spent hours on the phone reviewing sketches and samples sent to him from Texas. He wanted to feel every fabric, see every shade of gold, and approve every detail, no matter how small. It has to be perfect, he'd insist. Absolutely perfect. The main lounge area was his priority. He envisioned a space that was both grand and inviting. The designers proposed a lush, deep pile carpet and a rich blue complementing cream-colored sofas and chairs. Elvis loved the idea, but added his own touch. Let's weave gold threads into the carpet. Just a subtle shimmer, like starlight. And so a special order for a unique custom-made blue carpet with actual gold flecks was placed. The walls were to be paneled in polished burled wood, giving the cabin a warm, traditional feel, while brass accents and intricate detailing added a touch of classic elegance. But Elvis wanted something more modern, something that truly screamed king. He requested that parts of the wood paneling be offset with sections of red velvet, an iconic color for him. This combination of classic wood, luxurious velvet, and gleaming gold was a bold statement reflecting his own flamboyant style. The master bedroom was a particular focus. He wanted it to be a true sanctuary. Queen-sized bed, a rarity on a private jet, was custom built to fit the contours of the cabin. The headboard was padded with tufted blue velvet, and the bedding was made of the finest Egyptian cotton. Beside the bed, a small bedside table with a telephone and controls for lighting and entertainment. The bathroom connected to the master bedroom was to be equally lavish with marble comforts, and, as Elvis had insisted, a gold-flecked sink and gold fixtures. He even asked for a small mirrored vanity where Priscilla could get ready. Conference room was designed for business meetings, but also for card games and casual gatherings. Here, a large custom-made table would be installed, surrounded by plush, swiveling captain's chairs. Overhead, a unique lighting fixture that resembled a small chandelier. It was about functionality as much as luxury. But perhaps the most intricate part of the design was the entertainment system. Elvis wanted to be able to watch movies, listen to music, and even play his own concert footage in high quality anywhere in the world. Multiple television screens were integrated backing into the walls hidden behind sliding panels when not in use. A state-of-the-art sound system was installed throughout the entire cabin, capable of filling the space with crystal-clear music. The exterior of the plane also underwent a dramatic transformation. The Delta Airlines livery was stripped away, and the entire jet was repainted in a striking combination of white with bold red and blue accents. The tail was adorned with the iconic TCB, taking care of business, lightning bolt, logo, Elvis's personal emblem, symbolizing his mower. The words, Lisa Marie, were elegantly painted near the cockpit windows. This wasn't just a plane, it was a flying billboard for the king. As the months passed, progress reports flowed in. Pictures showed the interior slowly taking shape from bare metal to plush reality. The tined parts, the hand-stitched upholstery, the gleaming gold accents, everything was meticulously crafted. There were setbacks, of course. Integrating a fully functional galley, kitchen, capable of preparing gourmet meals at altitude, designing an air purification system for fresh cabin air, and ensuring all the electronics worked perfectly, presented engineering challenges, but no expense was spared. Elvis himself visited the facility multiple times, walking through the evolving cabin, touching the fabrics, sitting in the chairs, imagining himself and his family in the finished space. His excitement was palpable. He would point to a corner, suggest a slight alteration to the lighting, or ask for an extra mirror. He was living out a childhood fantasy on an adult scale. The costs continued to climb, but Elvis didn't bat an eye. This wasn't an expenditure. It was an investment in his comfort, his privacy, and his family's well-being. It was about creating a legacy, a symbol of what was possible when dreams met determination and unlimited resources. The Lisa Marie was becoming a masterpiece of luxury, a testament to Elvis Presley's unique style and his generous spirit. The day of its grand reveal was fast approaching, and the world, though they didn't know it yet, was about to witness the birth of an aviation legend. The day finally arrived. It was November 27th, 1975, the day after Thanksgiving. Elvis, along with Priscilla, Lisa, Marie, his father, Vernon, and a handful of close friends, stood on the tarmac at the Fort Worth facility. The air was crisp, charged with anticipation. Before them, gleaming under the Texas sun, sat a magnificent aircraft, unlike any they had ever seen. It was the Convair 880, but utterly transformed. Its pristine white fuselage shimmered, accented by bold red and blue stripes that ran elegantly along its sides. The tail, tall and proud, bore the unmistakable TCB lightning bolt, a symbol recognized by millions worldwide. And near the cockpit, in graceful script, were the words that filled Elvis's heart with joy: Lisa Marie. A hush fell over the small group as they approached the jet. Elvis walked slowly, his eyes wide, a reverent smile on his face. This wasn't just a plane. It was a dream manifested in metal and luxury. He reached out, touching the smooth, cool surface of the fuselage, a deep sense of pride washing over him. The door was opened, revealing a custom-built, retractable stairway carpeted in plush red. As Elvis ascended, the first thing that struck him was the sheer spaciousness and the rich, inviting aroma of new leather and polished wood. Stepping inside, he paused, taking it all in. The main lounge was breathtaking. Custom-made deep blue carpet interwoven with subtle gold threads felt incredibly soft underfoot. Cream-colored sofas upholstered in the finest leather invited relaxation. The burled wood paneling gleamed, offset by sections of plush red velvet that added a vibrant pop of color. Brass accents polished to a mirror's shine reflected the warm, recessed lighting. "My goodness," Elvis Vernon breathed, shaking his head in disbelief. "It's even grander than I imagined," Elvis just grinned, a childlike wonder in his eyes. He walked deeper into the cabin, running his hand along the smooth back of a sofa, testing the softness of a pillow. He admired the built-in entertainment system, the television screens discreetly hidden behind wooden panels, ready to emerge at the touch of a button. Next was the conference room, separated from the main lounge by a sliding door. A large custom-designed table dominated the space, surrounded by 6 luxurious swiveling chairs. This was where business would be conducted, but also where countless games of cards would be played and stories shared late into the night. Then, the master bedroom. Elvis pushed open the door and stepped inside. It was a haven of tranquility and extravagance. Queen-sized bed, impeccably made, with crisp white sheets, and a blue velvet headboard, looked incredibly inviting. Soft lighting cast a warm glow. He walked over to the private bathroom, connected to the bedroom. The gold-flecked sink glittered under the light, the marble gumdrop cool and smooth. He turned on a gold-plated faucet, marveling at the design. "This is incredible, Daddy," Priscilla said, her voice filled with awe as she explored the bedroom. Lisa Marie, too young to fully grasp the magnitude of the moment, giggled as she bounced lightly on the plush carpet in the main lounge, exploring the new, soft world around her. "It's perfect," Elvis finally said, his voice husky with emotion. "It's absolutely perfect." The flight crew, dressed in sharp new uniforms, introduced themselves. Captain, a seasoned pilot, welcomed Elvis aboard his new aircraft. "Welcome aboard the Lisa Marie, Mr. Presley," he announced, a slight tremor of excitement in his voice. The inaugural flight was a short one, a mere loop over Texas, but it was monumental. As the powerful engines roared to life and the Lisa Marie gracefully ascended into the sky, Elvis gazed out of a large custom-built window. Below, the sky was a limitless blue. He was literally soaring in his own palace, a testament to his hard work, his dreams, and his unparalleled success. Inside the cabin was quiet, save for the gentle hum of the engines. Everyone settled into the luxurious seats, a sense of wonder filling the air. Elvis stretched out on one of the sofas in the lounge, a contented sigh escaping his lips. He finally had it, a true home away from home. A place where he could escape the relentless demands of fame, find peace, and most importantly, be with his family and friends in ultimate comfort. The Lisa Marie wasn't just a symbol of his wealth. It was a symbol of his aspirations, his love for his daughter, and his desire to bring comfort and joy to those he cared about. This jet, with its gold and velvet, its plush carpets, and private rooms, was a realization of a dream only a king could imagine. And as it sliced through the clouds, the Lisa Marie began its new life, ready to carry its royal cargo on countless journeys, creating memories that would last a lifetime. The Lisa Marie quickly became more than just a mode of transport. It became an extension of Graceland itself, a flying haven for Elvis and his loved ones. Gone were the days of hurried airport dashes, cramped commercial seats, and the constant threat of being mobbed by fans. Now, every journey was a serene, private affair, steeped in comfort. One of the greatest joys the Lisa Marie brought to Elvis was the ability to travel with his daughter, Lisa Marie, in unparalleled comfort. Little Lisa Marie, with her bright eyes and infectious giggle, absolutely adored the plane. For her, it wasn't just an aircraft. It was her daddy's special big bird, a magical playhouse in the sky. She would often dash through the spacious cabin from a lounge to the conference room, her tiny hands trailing along the plush velvet and gleaming wood. Elvis loved watching her. He'd often find her curled up on one of the cream-colored sofas, drawing in a notebook or peering out the window at the clouds, her imagination soaring as high as the plane itself. He remembered one particular flight to Los Angeles. Lisa Marie, then around 7 years old, was restless. Elvis, ever the doting father, sat with her in the main lounge, dimming the lights, put on one of her favorite cartoons on the hidden TV screen, and they snuggled together on the sofa, sharing a bowl of popcorn prepared in the jet's galley. It was a simple moment, but one that felt impossibly precious, made possible by the privacy and comfort of their flying home. His father, Vernon, also found immense comfort in the Lisa Marie. Vernon had always been a steady grounding presence in Elvis's life, and he loved the peace the jet afforded. He'd often sit in one of the comfortable recliners in the main lounge, reading a newspaper or simply gazing out the window, a quiet contentment on his face. The long, tiring road trips of the past were replaced by effortless flights where he could genuinely rest. For Vernon, who had seen his son rise from poverty to unimaginable wealth, the Lisa Marie was a testament to Elvis's success, a tangible symbol of how far they had come. Elvis's beloved Aunt Delta and Grandma Minnie May often joined them on flights. For Grandma Minnie, a feisty and charming woman who had always been close to Elvis, flying on the Lisa Marie was a grand adventure. She loved the feeling of being pampered, having her favorite snacks brought to her, and chatting with the flight attendants. She'd often marvel at the gold fixtures in the bathroom, declaring, "Well, Elvis, you certainly know how to live." Elvis would just smile, happy to see her enjoying the luxury he had worked so hard to achieve. These flights were more than just travel. They were opportunities for true family bonding. Dinners were served on fine china, often prepared by a gourmet chef who occasionally flew with them, or by the dedicated flight attendant crew who were masters of in-flight catering. Conversations flowed freely, unburdened by the demands of the outside world. There were no flashing cameras, no demanding fans, no strict schedules to adhere to. It was just family together in their sky-high sanctuary. Priscilla, though no longer married to Elvis, often flew with him and Lisa Marie, fostering a strong sense of co-parenting and friendship. She appreciated the quiet elegance of the jet, the ability to relax, and simply be a mother to Lisa Marie without the constant public scrutiny. She remembered a flight where Lisa Marie had fallen asleep in the master bedroom completely at peace, while she and Elvis sat quietly in the lounge, talking about their daughter's future, their conversation punctuated only by the soft hum of the engines. These were moments of shared purpose and quiet understanding. The Lisa Marie also allowed Elvis to bring his family to important events and holidays that would have been too stressful or impossible with commercial travel. They could celebrate birthdays in the air or arrive refreshed for Christmas gatherings, truly making the most of their precious time together. In many ways, the opulence of the Lisa Marie was not just for show. It was functional. It bought them privacy, comfort, and most importantly, time together. It transformed the arduous task of travel into an enjoyable part of their lives, allowing Elvis to be more present, more relaxed, and more connected to the people who mattered most. For Elvis, sharing his flying palace with his family was perhaps the greatest luxury of all, while the Lisa Marie provided a serene sanctuary for family. It also transformed into a vibrant playground for Elvis and his loyal entourage, affectionately known as the Memphis Mafia. These were the men who were more than just employees. They were his friends, his confidants, his brothers in arms, and on the Lisa Marie their camaraderie soared to new heights. Flights with the Memphis Mafia were legendary. The moment they stepped aboard, the atmosphere shifted from serene luxury to boisterous camaraderie. The spacious cabin, which moments ago had been a quiet retreat, would soon echo with laughter, card shuffling, and the clinking of glasses. Elvis loved to treat his friends. He believed in sharing his good fortune, and the Lisa Marie was the ultimate expression of that generosity. The galley would be stocked with an array of Elvis's favorite foods: peanut butter and banana sandwiches, cold cuts, freshly baked cookies, and endless supplies of soft drinks and coffee. The flight attendants, expertly trained and always discreet, were constantly on hand to fulfill any request, no task too big or small. Card games were a staple of these flights. The large conference table, usually reserved for serious discussions, would be transformed into a high-stakes poker or blackjack table. Elvis, a keen card player, would often be at the center of the action, his eyes twinkling with mischief as he bluffed or revealed a winning hand. The air would be thick with playful banter, good-natured teasing, and bursts of triumphant shouts or groans of mock despair. Red West, Sonny West, Jerry Schilling, Joe Esposito, each of them had their own style, and the competition was fierce, but always friendly. Music was another constant. The state-of-the-art sound system would blast out Elvis's latest recordings, or perhaps gospel hymns, or even classic rhythm and blues tunes that inspired him. Sometimes Elvis himself would pick up a guitar or simply start singing a cappella, his powerful voice filling the cabin, turning a routine flight into an impromptu concert. The Mafia would often join in harmonizing or tapping their feet, caught up in the pure joy of the moment. "Hey, E, remember that time we tried to play golf in the aisle?" Joe Esposito once quipped, recalling a particularly wild flight. The memory sparked a wave of laughter from everyone present. While they didn't literally swing golf clubs, the plane often became the stage for their antics, impromptu dance-offs, storytelling sessions that stretched for hours, and the occasional prank played on a sleeping member of the crew. The Lisa Marie allowed them to travel without the usual stresses of touring. Instead of being confined to a bus for hours on end, they could stretch out, move around, and truly relax. They could land in a city, perform a show, and then immediately board the jet for the next destination. Refreshed and ready, this level of comfort was revolutionary for a touring musician and his team. Elvis reveled in seeing his friends so comfortable and happy. He wasn't just their boss, he was their patriarch, their provider. He wanted them to experience the best, to share in the fruits of his labor. The opulence of the Lisa Marie wasn't just for him. It was a testament to his gratitude for their loyalty and hard work. He truly believed in taking care of business, and that included taking care of his people. Late-night conversations would often happen in the quiet hum of the jet. Elvis would sometimes retreat to the master bedroom, but often he'd stay up in the lounge with his friends, talking about life, music, dreams, and fears. These were the moments when the king could truly be himself, shedding the heavy cloak of fame, and simply being a man among his closest companions. The Lisa Marie wasn't just a symbol of extravagance. It was a symbol of shared experience, a brotherhood. It was where inside jokes were born, where strategies were planned, and where friendships were deepened, all while soaring gracefully above the clouds. These flights, filled with laughter, music, and genuine camaraderie, cemented the bond between Elvis and his Memphis Mafia, making the Lisa Marie a true flying home for everyone who was lucky enough to be part of the king's inner circle. The Lisa Marie was undoubtedly a symbol of opulence, but its true beauty wasn't just in its gold fixtures or velvet seats. It was in the moments it transcended its luxury to become a vessel of hope, a flying instrument of kindness in the hands of a man known for his generosity. Elvis had always had a soft spot for children, especially those facing hardship. He often visited hospitals, made surprise phone calls, and donated generously to charities. The Lisa Marie, with its ability to travel quickly and comfortably, opened up new possibilities for these acts of compassion. One day, a request reached Graceland that deeply touched Elvis's heart. A young boy named Timmy, barely 9 years old, was gravely ill in a hospital in Atlanta. Timmy was a huge Elvis fan. His biggest dream, his doctors said, was to meet Elvis, and if possible, to see his famous private jet. Time was tragically short. Elvis didn't hesitate. "Get the plane ready," he told Joe Esposito, his voice firm with resolve. "We're going to Atlanta." The medical team at the hospital was amazed. Never in their wildest dreams had they imagined such a swift and personal response. Within hours, the magnificent Lisa Marie was soaring through the sky, carrying Elvis and his small team towards Atlanta. Upon landing, the logistics were carefully managed to ensure Timmy's comfort and privacy. A special ambulance was arranged to bring Timmy, accompanied by his parents and a nurse, directly to the jet's private hangar. Timmy was frail, connected to an IV, but his eyes lit up like Christmas tree lights when he saw the massive plane. "The Lisa Marie," he whispered, a weak but genuine smile on his face. Elvis was already waiting at the bottom of the air stairs. Dressed simply but warmly, he knelt down, his eyes meeting Timmy's. "Hey there, Timmy," he said gently, his voice soft. "Heard you wanted to see my bird." Timmy could only nod, tears welling up in his eyes, but they were tears of pure joy. Elvis reached out a hand and Timmy grasped it, his small fingers surprisingly strong. With the help of the nurse Elvis and Joe carefully helped Timmy up the stairs and into the lavish cabin. Inside, Timmy was speechless. He'd seen pictures, but nothing compared to the real thing. The soft carpet, the gleaming wood, the plush sofas. It was a wonderland. Elvis personally gave him a tour, pointing out the gold-flecked sink. "See, Timmy, it really glitters." The hidden TV screens and the incredibly soft bed in the master bedroom. Timmy even got to sit in the pilot's seat for a moment, his tiny hand on the control yoke making airplane noises. "Would you like to take a little trip, Timmy?" Elvis asked, his eyes full of compassion. Timmy's eyes widened. "Really? On your plane today?" winking. "It's your plane today." And so the Lisa Marie took to the skies once more. Not for a concert, not for a lavish vacation, but for a short, heartfelt flight with a very special passenger. Timmy sat in one of the comfortable chairs in the lounge, looking out at the clouds, his mother holding his hand, tears streaming silently down her face, tears of gratitude. Elvis sat opposite Timmy, talking to him, listening to his stories about school and his favorite seatbelts. He even sang a quiet impromptu lullaby when Timmy started to tire. For those precious hours, the opulence of the jet faded into the background. What mattered was the warmth, the care, the sheer joy radiating from the king and the young boy. When they landed, Timmy was exhausted but beaming. As he was helped back into the ambulance, he looked back at Elvis, his voice a little stronger. "Thank you, Mr. Presley. Thank you for my dream." Anytime, buddy. The Lisa Marie had not just transported a child, it had transported hope, joy, and a priceless memory. This wasn't about the cost of the flight or the grandeur of the jet. It was about the heart of the man who owned it, and how he used his immense resources not just for personal luxury, but to touch lives, to bring a glimmer of light into the darkest moments, making his palace in the sky a true beacon of hope. Amidst the roaring crowds, the relentless touring, the demands of celebrity, Elvis Presley often found himself yearning for quiet. His life was a whirlwind of energy, adoration, and constant scrutiny. Graceland provided a sanctuary on the ground, but even there, the phone calls, the business meetings, and the sheer number of people could sometimes feel overwhelming. It was aboard the Lisa Marie that he often found his true retreat, a serene bubble floating above the world's chaos. When the jet was on a long flight, whether across the country for a concert or just a repositioning flight between engagements, Elvis would often seek out moments of solitude. The master bedroom, with its plush queen-sized bed and soft lighting, became his personal haven. He would close the door, shutting out the murmurs from the main cabin, and simply be. Sometimes he would use the time to catch up on much-needed sleep, drifting off to the gentle hum of the engines, a deeper, more restorative sleep than he often found in noisy hotel rooms. Other times he would read. He was a voracious reader, devouring books on philosophy, religion, history, and even science fiction. Quiet cabin high above the clouds provided the perfect environment for him to lose himself in a book, to learn and to reflect. He also used the jet as a space for creative contemplation. There were times when a melody or a lyric would strike him and he would retreat to the privacy of the bedroom or a quiet corner of the lounge. He would pick up one of the guitars that were always kept on board, strumming softly, working out a new chord progression, or humming a nascent tune. The Lisa Marie, suspended between earth and sky, seemed to inspire a different kind of creativity, a calm space where ideas could freely flow. The large windows, custom designed to offer expansive views, were a constant source of wonder for him. He would often just sit by a window, gazing out at the endless expanse of blue sky, the fluffy white clouds, or the shimmering lights of a city sprawling far below. It was a humbling perspective, a reminder of the vastness of the world and his small place within it, despite his immense fame. In these moments, he wasn't the king. He was just Elvis, a man appreciating the beauty of flight. Even during flights with his Memphis Mafia, Elvis would occasionally excuse himself, seeking a few moments of quiet reflection. His friends understood. They knew that their leader, while outwardly gregarious, also needed his downtime, his space to recharge. The jet allowed him that flexibility, that immediate escape from the constant demands of his public persona. The OPULENCE amenities were tailored for his comfort. The advanced air purification system ensured fresh, clean air, a subtle but significant luxury. The lighting could be adjusted to any mood, from bright and vibrant for meetings to soft and dim for relaxation. The private bathroom was always immaculate, a welcome convenience after tiring performances. The Lisa Marie provided a unique kind of freedom. It wasn't just about avoiding commercial travel. It was about reclaiming precious moments for himself. It was a sanctuary from the autograph hunters, the paparazzi, the demanding schedule, and the noise. Up in the clouds, in his custom-designed flying palace, Elvis could truly breathe. He could meditate, he could pray, he could simply be alone with his thoughts, finding a peace that was often elusive in his extraordinary life. This quiet luxury, The ability to retreat within his own magnificent private space was perhaps the most profound benefit of the Lisa Marie. For Elvis, it wasn't about the outward display of wealth, but the inward solace it provided. It allowed him to maintain his equilibrium, to find moments of stillness in a life lived at 1,000 miles an hour, ensuring that even the king found his quiet corner of the sky. The Lisa Marie wasn't just a personal retreat. It was an extension of Elvis Presley's legendary stage presence. When the Golden Bird touched down in a new city, it wasn't just an arrival, it was an event, a prelude to the spectacle of a king about to perform. Imagine the scene. Thousands of fans gathered at the airport fences, craning their necks, cameras poised. Suddenly, a roar fills the air, growing louder, vibrating through the ground. A sleek white, red, and blue jet bearing the iconic TCB lightning bolt on its tail descends with majestic grace. It's not just any plane, it's Elvis's plane. The Lisa Marie has arrived. As the jet taxied to its private spot, often near a special hangar, the excitement would become almost unbearable. The sight of the opulent aircraft, a symbol of Elvis's unmatched success and extravagant lifestyle, only heightened the anticipation for his concert. It was a tangible representation of the king's unparalleled status, a flying testament to his legend. For Elvis, landing in the Lisa Marie was an entrance in itself. Stepping down the custom-carpeted air stairs, often waving to the distant crowds or sharing a private joke with his entourage, he was already in character, ready to command an arena. The jet allowed him to arrive refreshed, stylish, and exactly when he wanted, without the delays or discomforts that could impact a performer's energy. The Lisa Marie facilitated some of Elvis's most iconic concert tours in the mid-1970s. From his triumphant return to New York City at Madison Square Garden, to his legendary Las Vegas residencies, to his tours across the South, the jet was his constant companion. It ferried him from city to city, ensuring he could maintain his demanding schedule with a level of comfort previously unheard of for a touring artist. One memorable journey took the Lisa Marie to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and then immediately back to Nashville for recording sessions. The sheer efficiency and luxury allowed Elvis to transition, passing from a powerful live performance to focused studio work. On board, he could review concert footage on the multiple screens, discuss set lists with his band members, or simply unwind after a high-octane show. The jet was also often used to transport costumes, instruments, and equipment, ensuring everything Elvis needed for his performances arrived safely and on time. The cargo hold, once designed for passenger luggage, was now meticulously organized for the king's stage wear and musical gear. Beyond the concert tours, the Lisa Marie carried Elvis on various personal and professional engagements. It took him to charity, events, award ceremonies, and even impromptu trips to visit friends or family members who lived far away. Each journey was imbued with a sense of occasion, a touch of the extraordinary that only Elvis could command. The flight crew, specially selected for their professionalism and discretion, became an integral part of Elvis's touring team. They understood his routines, his preferences, and his need for both privacy and precise timing. They were accustomed to seeing impromptu jam sessions in the lounge, late-night card games, and the occasional burst of gospel singing filling the cabin. Public's fascination with the Lisa Marie grew with each passing year. It wasn't just a plane, it was a character in the Elvis story, a shining symbol of his larger-than-life persona. Newspaper articles and television reports would often mention its presence, solidifying its place in the lore of the king. For Elvis, the Lisa Marie wasn't just a convenience, it was a statement, clear to the world that he was truly the king, commanding his own skies, flying in a style that was as unique and flamboyant as his music. It was a golden bird soaring through the heavens, carrying the legend of Elvis Presley from one adoring crowd to the next, leaving a trail of awe and wonder in its wake. As the mid-1970s transitioned into 1977, the glow of Elvis Presley's life, while still undeniably bright, began to flicker with challenges. His health was in decline, and the relentless pace of touring, once exhilarating, had become a heavy burden. Yet through it all, the Lisa Marie remained a constant, a loyal companion, and a source of unwavering comfort. The vibrant parties and boisterous card games that once filled the cabin of the Lisa Marie became less frequent. The focus shifted from grand celebrations to providing a tranquil, comfortable environment for Elvis. When he traveled for concerts, which he still did extensively, the jet became his mobile haven, allowing him to rest and conserve his energy. Instead of stretching out on the sofa to laugh with his friends, Elvis might be found in the master bedroom trying to find a few hours of peaceful sleep before a performance. The luxurious bed, once a symbol of extravagance, was now more profoundly a place of respite, a soft cocoon against the aches and exhaustion of his body. Quiet hum of the engines was a gentle lullaby, and the privacy of the cabin allowed him to be vulnerable without the scrutiny of the world. His close friends and family who continued to travel with him noticed the change. They did their best to create a supportive atmosphere, making sure he had his favorite snacks, his preferred music, and the space he needed. The flight attendants, understanding the delicate situation, performed their duties with increased sensitivity, anticipating his needs, without him having to ask. Despite his struggles, Elvis never lost his appreciation for the Lisa Marie. He would still marvel at its beauty, at the craftsmanship that had gone into its creation. Sometimes he would simply walk through the cabin, touching the velvet, running his hand over the polished wood as if drawing strength from the physical manifestation of his dreams. It was a reminder of his power, his achievements, and the love that had inspired its very name. The jet became particularly crucial for his tours in the spring and early summer of 1977, flying to cities like Alexandria, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Indianapolis, Indiana. The Lisa Marie shielded him from the harsh realities of commercial travel. It allowed him to arrive at each concert venue with a semblance of energy. Even when he was struggling, the short, direct flights minimized his physical exertion, ensuring he could still give his all to his adoring fans, even if it took everything he had. There were poignant moments on board during these later flights. Late-night conversations where Elvis would speak of his dreams for the future, his desire to find peace and his enduring love for his music, and his fans. The jet soaring silently through the night sky bore witness to these intimate reflections, becoming a silent confidant to the king's inner world. The final public appearance of the Lisa Marie, with Elvis on board, was on June 26, 1977, when it flew him from Indianapolis back to Memphis, after what would be his last concert. As the jet touched down at Memphis International Airport, it was not just landing a plane, it was landing the king one last time in his flying home. After that, the Lisa Marie was still parked at the airport, waiting. It was ready for the next adventure, the next tour, the next flight, but that flight, for Elvis, would never come on August 16, 1977. The world's Presley, the king, was gone. The Lisa Marie, magnificent and ready, sat on the tarmac, a silent, gleaming monument to a dream that had come true, but whose journey with its beloved owner had come to an end. It was no longer a vessel of travel, but a symbol of a life lived extraordinarily, and a poignant reminder of a presence deeply missed. The lights on the Lisa Marie may have dimmed for a while, but its spirit, forever intertwined with the king, was far from extinguished. In the quiet aftermath of Elvis Presley's passing, the Lisa Marie sat waiting. For a time it was uncertain what would become of this magnificent aircraft. It was a tangible piece of Elvis's legacy, a symbol of his unprecedented success and his unique way of life. Vernon Presley, Elvis's father, understood the importance of the jet, not just as property, but as a connection to his beloved son. The decision was made with the help of the Elvis Presley estate to bring the Lisa Marie home to Graceland. It wasn't just a place to store it. It was a deliberate act to preserve it, to allow fans from all over the world to experience a piece of the king's personal life. The logistics of moving such a large aircraft from Memphis International Airport to the sprawling grounds across from Graceland were immense, requiring careful planning and execution. Roads were temporarily closed, power lines lifted, and a dedicated path was cleared. When the Lisa Marie finally arrived at Graceland, carefully towed into its specially constructed display area, it was a profound moment. It stood proudly, a majestic monument in the heart of Elvis's beloved home. Its gleaming white, red, and blue exterior, with the iconic TCB logo, continued to captivate. Today, the Lisa Marie is one of the most popular attractions at Graceland. Stepping aboard is like stepping back in time directly into Elvis's world. Thousands of fans each year walk up the custom air stairs, their faces reflecting awe and wonder, just as Elvis's had on that very first day. They stand in the main lounge, imagining Elvis relaxing on the sofa, talking with his friends. They marvel at the gold-flecked sink in the master bathroom, a testament to his unique taste for luxury. They peek into the master bedroom, envisioning him finding peaceful rest. They sit in the conference room, imagining the card games, the laughter, the heartfelt conversations that took place there. The jet no longer flies, but its story continues to soar. Tells tales of grand journeys, of groundbreaking tours, and of quiet moments of retreat. It speaks of Elvis's profound love for his family, especially his daughter, Lisa Marie, whose name graces its fuselage. It reveals his incredible generosity, how he used his wealth not just for himself, but to provide comfort, joy, and unforgettable experiences for those he cared about. Children visit the jet, their eyes wide with excitement, getting a glimpse into the life of a true rock and roll legend. Older fans, who remember seeing Elvis perform or hearing his music on the radio, feel a deep emotional connection, a palpable link to the man who changed the world with his voice and his spirit. The Lisa Marie represents the quintessential Elvis. Larger than life, extravagant, yet at its core, deeply human. It embodies the American dream, the rags to riches story of a boy from Tupelo who became a king, capable of owning his own flying palace. But beyond the opulence, beyond the gold and the velvet, the Lisa Marie stands as a symbol of dreams fulfilled. It's a testament to the idea that with hard work, passion, and an unwavering spirit, even the most audacious dreams can take flight. It's a reminder that true luxury isn't just about what you own, but how you use it to connect, to comfort, to share, and to inspire. The Lisa Marie, Elvis Presley's palace in the sky, is more than just a jet. It is a piece of living history, a heartwarming story in itself, continuously captivating new generations and ensuring that the legend of Elvis the King continues to soar, timeless and enduring for all time.